Imagine you are walking through a peaceful park, feeling the warm sun on your face, the gentle breeze brushing against your skin. You've had a difficult week, and something happened that really hurt you. Someone's words, their actions, whatever it was, it stung. You try to shake it off, but it keeps coming back, replaying in your mind. The anger, the frustration, the sadness. How do you get rid of it? Have you ever felt like you were carrying a heavy weight in your heart because someone hurt you? Maybe it was a friend, a colleague, or even a family member. How do you move past that hurt? Can you really let go of the pain, or will it always linger? Think about how often we replay negative experiences in our minds, like a loop we can't escape. We ask ourselves, why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong? How could they do this? These questions consume us, draining our energy and making it harder to find peace. But what if there was a way to stop carrying that burden? What if you could feel light, free, and peaceful again? There's a simple yet powerful truth from Buddhism that can transform the way you handle hurt and anger. It all starts with one small but profound shift in your mindset: the power of forgiveness. Think about it. What would it feel like to truly forgive someone who hurt you? To stop holding on to that anger and resentment that has been weighing you down for so long? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we dive into powerful teachings that can change the way you live. In this video, we will explore how Buddhist wisdom can help you let go of pain and find peace, no matter what life throws your way. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a conversation. Now, let's explore why forgiveness isn't just a choice. It's a path to freedom. Understanding karma, how pain comes full circle. The world moves in a cycle, a rhythm, almost like the waves in the ocean, always flowing, always changing. Everything we do, every word we speak, every action we take, creates a ripple that reaches far beyond what we can see. This is the essence of karma. We often hear the word karma thrown around in everyday conversations, but do we truly understand what it means? Do we realize how our actions, even the smallest ones, shape the world around us? Imagine you're holding a pebble in your hand, and with a gentle flick, you throw it into a calm pond. What happens? The pebble creates ripples that spread out, touching every part of the water's surface. In the same way, everything we do in life creates ripples, ripples of energy, thought, and emotion that spread out and affect others, and eventually, they return to us. Karma is not about punishment or reward. It's not a system of judgment or guilt. Instead, it's the natural law of cause and effect. Just as the pebble creates ripples in the pond, our actions create consequences. When we hurt others, those actions send out energy into the world. That energy doesn't just disappear, it comes back, often when we least expect it. Now let's think about pain. We all experience it. Some pain comes from the actions of others, while other pain is self-inflicted. But how do we make sense of the pain we feel when someone hurts us? Is it just random, or does it have a deeper purpose? In Buddhist teachings, it's said that pain is a result of our own karmic actions. It's not that we deserve to be hurt, but rather, the universe has a way of showing us our own patterns that we may not have even realized we were repeating. When we experience pain, it's an invitation to look within, to understand the deeper causes of our suffering. Take a moment and think about the last time someone hurt you. Maybe it was a harsh word or an unfair action. How did you respond? Did you feel anger, frustration, or perhaps a sense of betrayal? These emotions are natural, but they also carry their own energy. The more we feed into these emotions, the more we continue the cycle of pain. Buddhism teaches us that our emotional responses are not separate from the situation. They are part of the karmic cycle. When we react with anger or hatred, we are creating more negative karma, which means more pain, more suffering. But when we choose to respond with compassion and understanding, we break that cycle. It's not easy, and it's not quick, but it's the only way to truly find peace. The Buddha said, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger." This statement is a powerful reminder that the energy we put out into the world is the energy we receive. When we choose to hold on to anger, we are only hurting ourselves. It's like holding on to a burning coal, thinking it will hurt someone else. In the end, it's our hands that get burned. But how does this relate to the pain we feel when others hurt us? When someone hurts us, it's often a reflection of their own karma, of their own unresolved pain or suffering. They may not even realize the impact of their actions on us. Just as we are affected by the actions of others, so too are they affected by their own actions. It's the circle of life, the circle of karma. This understanding doesn't excuse the hurtful actions of others. It doesn't make the pain disappear, but it helps us shift our perspective. Instead of holding on to resentment or anger, we begin to see that the pain we experience is an opportunity to heal, not just for ourselves, but for the other person as well. The pain becomes a mirror, showing us the areas of our own lives where we need to grow, where we need to find compassion. When we begin to see pain in this way, we realize that forgiveness is not about letting someone off the hook. It's not about excusing their behavior or pretending that nothing happened. Forgiveness is about understanding that the other person's actions were a result of their own suffering and that holding on to anger will only continue the cycle of pain. We all have our struggles. We all have our own karma to work through. And in the grand scheme of things, the hurt we experience is just a small part of the larger picture. It's like a brief storm passing through the sky. It may feel overwhelming in the moment, but eventually, the storm clears and the sun shines through again. The key to breaking the cycle of pain is to stop feeding into the negative emotions. Instead of reacting with anger, we can choose to respond with compassion and understanding. We can choose to see the pain for what it is, a lesson, a chance to heal, a chance to grow. As we let go of our attachment to anger, resentment, and hurt, we begin to break the karmic cycle. We begin to shift the energy around us, creating a new wave of positive ripples. Just as the pebbles' ripples spread out across the pond, our actions, words, and thoughts send out ripples into the world. And when we choose to send out love, kindness, and forgiveness, those ripples come back to us in ways we may never expect. Buddhism teaches us that the path to freedom lies in understanding the law of karma and choosing to respond to life's challenges with mindfulness and compassion. Every moment, every action, every word is an opportunity to create positive karma, to break the cycle of suffering, and to move toward peace. So, the next time you find yourself hurt by someone else's actions, take a step back. Look within. Understand that their actions are a reflection of their own journey, their own pain. And instead of reacting with anger or bitterness, choose to respond with compassion and forgiveness. By doing so, you not only free yourself from the chains of resentment, but you also create a more peaceful world for everyone around you. In this way, pain becomes not something to fear or resist, but something to embrace and learn from. It's the key to breaking free from the cycle of suffering and finding true peace. The art of letting go, a Buddhist perspective. Life often presents us with moments of pain and difficulty. Sometimes, it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on our shoulders. We carry anger, resentment, and hurt as if holding on to them is somehow protecting us. But, in reality, all this pain only ties us down. It becomes a heavy burden that we drag with us through every day, even though it offers us no real comfort or safety. Have you ever wondered why we hold on to these feelings so tightly? From a Buddhist perspective, holding on to pain is like clinging to a rock in a rushing river. The current keeps pulling us forward, but the rock stops us from moving freely. We remain stuck, unable to reach the calm waters that lie ahead. The river, representing life itself, moves forward, with or without us. But if we release our grip on that rock, we can flow with the current, effortlessly and peacefully. This is the essence of letting go. Letting go is not about forgetting or pretending that the hurt never happened. It's about freeing ourselves from the mental and emotional grip that pain has over us. When we refuse to let go, we allow the pain to control us. We replay the hurt in our minds over and over, keeping ourselves trapped in the past. Every time we think about it, the pain is fresh, as if it just happened yesterday. Buddhism teaches us that suffering comes from attachment. We attach ourselves to the idea of how things should be, to the belief that the world must treat us fairly, and to the notion that we should never be hurt by others. When these expectations are not met, we suffer. But the truth is, life is constantly changing. People will hurt us. Situations will be unfair. And no matter how much we want to control everything, we can't. Holding on to anger and resentment only makes us more tightly bound to suffering. In contrast, letting go is an act of liberation. It's a way of saying, I choose to stop letting this pain define my life. When we let go, we stop identifying ourselves with the hurt and the anger. We no longer see ourselves as victims of life's unfairness. Instead, we begin to see ourselves as human beings who experience both joy and sorrow, but who are not controlled by either. But how do we let go? The first step is recognizing that our suffering is not something that is happening to us, but something we are creating within ourselves. It's easy to blame others for the pain we feel. We think, if they hadn't done this, I wouldn't be in so much pain. But in truth, no one can make us feel anything. Our emotions are the result of how we interpret and respond to what happens to us. Buddhism encourages us to observe our emotions without judgment. When we are hurt, we must allow ourselves to feel the pain, but not hold on to it. We must understand that emotions are temporary. They come and go like waves in the ocean. If we try to stop them, we struggle against them. But if we let them pass through us without resistance, we can return to calm. The process of letting go begins with mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to our thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. When we are mindful, we notice when anger, frustration, or hurt arise, but we don't immediately react to them. Instead, we observe them, acknowledge them, and let them go. Letting go also involves developing compassion, both for ourselves and for others. When we forgive, we are not excusing the hurtful actions of others. We are simply choosing not to let their actions control our emotions. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves, not to the person who hurt us. It's an act of kindness that frees us from the prison of anger and resentment. Compassion also involves understanding that everyone, including those who hurt us, is suffering in their own way. People often hurt others because they are hurting themselves. When we recognize this, our anger begins to soften. We start to see that their actions were not about us, but about their own pain. And when we can feel empathy for their suffering, we can release the grip of resentment we've been holding. The act of letting go is not something that happens overnight. It's a practice, and like any practice, it takes time and patience. In Buddhist teachings, this is called gradual awakening. Just as we would never expect a tree to grow overnight, we should not expect ourselves to let go of deep-rooted pain all at once. It takes time for the seeds of mindfulness and compassion to take root in our hearts. As we practice letting go, we begin to notice small changes within ourselves. We become less reactive to the hurtful actions of others. We stop carrying grudges that drain our energy. Instead of holding on to the past, we start living more fully in the present moment. We realize that we have the power to shape our own peace, regardless of what happens around us. The more we let go, the lighter we feel. The more space we create in our hearts, the more room there is for love, joy, and contentment. And when we let go of our attachment to the past, we become free to embrace the future with open arms. We stop living in the shadow of past hurts and start stepping into the light of a new, more peaceful life. In the end, letting go is not just a way to heal from past wounds. It is a way to transform our entire experience of life. When we let go of our attachment to pain, we open ourselves up to the beauty and possibility of each moment. We begin to see the world with clearer eyes, free from the distortions of anger and bitterness. So, the next time someone hurts you, remember that you are not defined by their actions. You are not bound by the pain they cause. Let it go. Release the grip you have on the past, and give yourself the gift of peace. Letting go is the art of freedom. It is the key to living a life of joy, compassion, and inner peace. And, in the end, it is the path to true happiness, transforming pain into inner strength. You've been hurt. It's a fact. It might be something someone said to you, an action that left you feeling betrayed, or a deep wound that refuses to heal. We all carry pain from time to time, some small, some heavy, but all of it seems to linger when we let it. It stays with us, often affecting the way we see the world, the way we interact with others, and how we feel about ourselves. But what if you could take this very pain, the one that feels like a weight on your heart, and turn it into something that makes you stronger? What if the hurt you feel could become your greatest source of strength? It's easy to think of pain as something we need to avoid or get rid of, something we need to fix. And yes, it can be overwhelming. But in Buddhism, there's a different approach to pain. Instead of running from it or trying to escape it, we are encouraged to face it head-on, to sit with it, and learn from it. The very act of experiencing pain can bring about growth and wisdom, but only if we allow ourselves to fully feel it, and then, when the time is right, to let it go. When we're hurt, it's natural to want to protect ourselves. Our first instinct is often to build walls, to shut ourselves off from the world and from others. We may even close ourselves off from love, from joy, because we're afraid of feeling that pain again. But when we build these walls, we trap ourselves. We stop the flow of life. We stop the flow of connection, of understanding, of empathy. And the more we try to protect ourselves, the more we end up isolating ourselves, becoming prisoners of our own pain. In Buddhism, the idea of suffering, or dukkha, is central to understanding how we can transform our pain. The Buddha taught that life is full of suffering, but that suffering isn't a punishment. It's a part of being human. Pain comes to everyone, in many forms. It's not about avoiding pain, but learning how to use it to move towards wisdom, compassion, and peace. This is where the real power of transforming pain into strength comes from. It's not in avoiding the hurt, but in embracing it and using it to grow. Take a moment and think about your own life. Think about a time when you were hurt, a time when someone said something that cut deep, or when you felt betrayed or abandoned. Now think about how you responded to that pain. Did you shut yourself off from others? Did you carry that pain around, day after day, never letting it go? Or did you find a way to use that pain to grow, to become more understanding, more compassionate? Let's be clear. Transforming pain isn't about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's not about pushing it down or ignoring it. That's not the answer. The answer lies in understanding that pain, in accepting that it's a part of life, and then finding a way to move beyond it. The Buddha taught that our suffering often comes from our attachment to things as they are, our desire to control life and people around us. But when we accept life as it is, without trying to control every moment, we begin to heal. The pain starts to lose its grip on us. What does it mean to let go of attachment? It means recognizing that everything in life is temporary. The people who hurt you, the moments that scarred you, they're all temporary. They don't define you. What defines you is how you respond to those moments, how you choose to carry them. Do you let them control you? Or do you use them as stepping stones to a stronger, more compassionate version of yourself? When you start to see pain through this lens, you begin to understand that pain itself is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It shows you where you need to grow, where you need to heal, and where you need to release. Pain can teach you about your own vulnerabilities, but it can also teach you about your own resilience. It can show you the depths of your compassion, the strength you never knew you had. And most importantly, it can help you connect with others who have experienced similar pain, giving you the ability to offer them understanding and kindness. Think of pain as a river. At first, the current seems strong and overwhelming. It pulls you in, dragging you deeper into its waters. But as you allow yourself to float, to accept the current, you start to realize that the water can carry you. It's not the current itself that's the problem. It's your resistance to it. When you stop resisting, when you stop trying to fight the flow, you find that the water carries you gently downstream, taking you to new places of understanding and peace. The more you embrace the pain, the less power it has over you. It starts to dissolve, bit by bit, until all that remains is a deeper sense of wisdom and inner strength. And this is how pain transforms into something powerful, because you are no longer defined by it. You no longer wear it as a badge of victimhood. Instead, you wear it as a symbol of growth, a reminder that you are capable of overcoming anything life throws your way. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a lighter heart. Imagine not feeling weighed down by past hurts, not carrying the anger, the resentment, the bitterness anymore. What would your life look like if you could simply let it go and move forward, stronger and wiser than before? This isn't a far-off dream. It's possible. It's within your reach. The path to transforming pain into strength is not always easy. There will be moments when the pain feels too great, too overwhelming. But even in those moments, there's an opportunity to grow. The key is to remember that you are not alone in your suffering. Everyone experiences pain. Everyone has their own struggles. And when we embrace that truth, when we stop trying to hide from pain and instead see it as part of the human experience, we start to understand that we are stronger than we think. It might take time. It might take patience. But if you allow yourself to truly feel, to truly experience your pain, you will discover a well of strength within you that you never knew existed. This is the power of transformation. This is the power of embracing your pain, not as a weakness, but as the very thing that can help you become stronger, more compassionate, and more connected to others. So the next time someone hurts you, remember, it's not the pain that defines you. It's how you choose to handle it, how you choose to learn from it, and how you choose to move forward. Pain is a part of life, but it doesn't have to hold you back. It can be your stepping stone to greater strength, greater peace, and greater wisdom. All you need to do is embrace it, learn from it, and let it transform you. In the end, it's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. And when you respond with compassion, understanding, and the willingness to grow, you will find that pain can become one of the greatest teachers of all. The illusion of control, why we suffer. Have you ever tried to control everything around you, to make sure everything goes exactly as you want it to. It's a natural feeling to want to hold on to control, especially when life feels uncertain or chaotic. We want to control our surroundings, our relationships, our work, even our emotions. But what happens when we can't? What happens when we realize that control is slipping away? The truth is, the more we try to control, the more we suffer. We begin to see that things don't always go according to plan, and no matter how hard we try, we can't control other people or circumstances. We get frustrated, angry, or upset when life doesn't unfold the way we think it should. It's a cycle that can leave us feeling stuck, unhappy, and restless. This is where Buddhism offers us a different perspective. It teaches us that much of our suffering comes from our attachment to control. We grasp tightly onto the idea that if we just have everything in place, if everything aligns perfectly, then we will be happy. But that's an illusion. Think about it. How many times have you felt that if only a situation were different, if only a person had acted differently, or if only you could have predicted the outcome, you would have been at peace? The reality is that life is unpredictable. It moves in its own way, with its own rhythm. The more we try to force it into our vision, the more we create friction and suffering for ourselves. In Buddhism, we learn about the concept of non-attachment. This doesn't mean that we don't care about things or people. It doesn't mean we stop trying or working hard. Instead, it means that we stop clinging to the idea that things must be a certain way. We let go of the need to control every outcome and instead embrace life as it is, with all of its imperfections and uncertainties. Imagine for a moment that you're standing at the edge of a river. You're trying to hold on to every leaf, every branch that floats by, trying to control the current. But no matter how hard you try, the river keeps flowing, the leaves keep drifting away, and you can't hold on to everything. The more you try, the more exhausted you become. But if you simply let go and allow the river to flow, you'll find peace. You'll realize that life doesn't need to be controlled. It needs to be experienced. This idea of non-attachment is one of the core teachings of Buddhism. It's about understanding that nothing is permanent. People change, situations shift, and life unfolds in ways we don't always expect. We can't hold on to things forever, and trying to do so only causes pain. But if we learn to let go and trust in the flow of life, we find freedom. It's important to recognize that letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. It simply means that we stop fighting against the natural course of things. We accept that we can't change everything, and instead, we focus on how we respond. Our peace doesn't come from controlling others or our circumstances, but from controlling our reactions. Think about a time when you were really stressed. Maybe you were trying to manage every detail, worried about what might happen next. In that moment, you probably felt anxious and overwhelmed. Now think about a time when you were able to let go of that need to control, when you accepted that things would unfold as they would. In those moments, didn't you feel a sense of relief? That's the power of letting go. Buddha taught that suffering arises when we try to control what is uncontrollable. The more we try to cling to things that are temporary, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment. But by practicing mindfulness and being present in each moment, we can learn to accept life as it is, without resistance. And when we do this, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. This doesn't mean we stop caring. It doesn't mean we stopped working hard or setting goals. But it does mean that we let go of the constant need to manipulate every situation. Instead of striving for perfection or attempting to force things into our vision, we learn to trust. We trust that life has a way of unfolding in its own time, and that we are exactly where we need to be in this moment. You might be thinking, but if I don't control everything, Won't things fall apart? The truth is, life will unfold in ways we can't always predict. It's messy, it's uncertain, and sometimes it's painful. But in the midst of that chaos, there is beauty, there is growth, and there is freedom. The key is to stop resisting the flow of life and to start embracing it, with all its ups and downs. When we stop fighting to control every outcome, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We allow space for unexpected blessings, for growth, and for change. We stop limiting ourselves by clinging to outdated ideas of what life should look like. Instead, we step into the present moment, where everything is happening just as it needs to. This doesn't mean that we stop trying to improve our lives, or that we become passive. It simply means that we stop seeing ourselves as the center of the universe, the ones who must control every detail. We begin to see life as a flow, a dance, where we are participants, not dictators. We begin to understand that there's more peace in letting go than in trying to control everything. So the next time you feel that need to control creeping in, when you feel yourself grasping for certainty, for predictability, remind yourself that true peace comes not from control, but from surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the illusion of control and trusting that life will unfold exactly as it should. And in that trust, you'll find freedom, peace, and the joy that comes from living fully in the present moment. It's time to release the grip of control. It's time to let go of the illusion that you can predict or manipulate every outcome. Life is unpredictable, and that's where its beauty lies. When we stop trying to control everything, we make room for miracles, for growth, and for true happiness. In the end, it's not about what happens to us, but how we respond. And when we let go of the need to control, we give ourselves the gift of peace, compassion for those who hurt us. In life, we all encounter moments when we are hurt by others. It could be a harsh word, an unexpected betrayal, or even a long-held grudge from someone close. These experiences leave us feeling disappointed, angry, and sometimes lost. When we are hurt, it's natural to feel resentment, to wonder why someone would treat us in such a way. Our hearts often feel heavy with the weight of that pain, and our minds are consumed with thoughts of how to make the person who hurt us understand what they've done. But what if we told you that the key to releasing this pain isn't about confronting the person who hurt us or seeking an apology? What if the true healing comes from showing compassion, not just for ourselves, but for the person who has wronged us? This, in its purest form, is the essence of Buddhist wisdom. It may seem counterintuitive at first. How can we possibly feel compassion for someone who has caused us harm? How can we open our hearts to those who have broken our trust or left us wounded? It's because, in Buddhism, compassion is not just about feeling sympathy for others. It's about understanding that all beings, including those who hurt us, are suffering in their own way. When someone hurts us, it often comes from a place of their own pain. They may be acting out of fear, insecurity, or unresolved emotional wounds. Their actions, though harmful, are often a reflection of their own struggles and inner turmoil. Just as we experience moments of weakness, doubt, or frustration, so do they. And though their pain may not excuse their behavior, it helps us understand that their hurtful actions are not personal attacks against us. Rather, they are manifestations of their own suffering. Compassion, in the Buddhist sense, doesn't mean we condone or accept the harmful actions of others. It simply means that we recognize their humanity and the fact that they, too, are struggling with life's challenges. When we approach others with compassion, we begin to see beyond their actions and start to understand the deeper causes of their behavior. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. Instead of holding on to anger, bitterness, or resentment, We can let go and choose to see the person who hurt us as someone who is, in their own way, in need of healing. We start to feel empathy for them, understanding that their actions were likely not motivated by malice, but by their own emotional wounds and fears. This doesn't make their actions right, but it does give us the opportunity to release our attachment to anger and embrace a more peaceful, compassionate way of living. By showing compassion to those who hurt us, we also begin to show compassion to ourselves. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of hurt and retaliation, but when we take the step to forgive and release the anger, we create space for our own healing. We allow ourselves to move forward without carrying the weight of grudges or resentment. And in doing so, we free ourselves from the chains of negative emotions that keep us trapped in a cycle of suffering. Compassion is not something we give lightly. It is a practice that takes time and effort. But the more we practice it, the more natural it becomes. We start to see the humanity in others, even those who have hurt us. We learn to recognize that their suffering is just as real as ours, and in doing so, we begin to shift our perspective on the world around us. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as metta, or loving kindness. It's the practice of sending out goodwill, love, and kindness to all beings, regardless of how they have treated us. This doesn't mean we ignore the hurt or pretend that it didn't happen. It simply means that we choose to rise above the negative emotions that keep us stuck in the past. We choose to embrace the idea that we are all interconnected, and by showing compassion to others, we also heal ourselves. When we practice compassion, we stop seeing others as good or bad. We stop judging their actions as right or wrong. Instead, we see them as human beings who are doing their best with the tools they have at their disposal. We recognize that everyone is fighting their own battles, and sometimes those battles are fought in ways that hurt others, even unintentionally. This is not to say that we should let others take advantage of us or continue to harm us. Compassion does not mean accepting toxic behavior or staying in relationships that are unhealthy. It simply means that we choose to release the anger and resentment so we can move forward without carrying the burden of negativity. By choosing compassion, we are not allowing others to hurt us again. We are simply freeing ourselves from the emotional chains that keep us stuck in the past. When we learn to show compassion for those who hurt us, we begin to understand that forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for ourselves. Forgiveness doesn't mean we forget what happened or let the other person off the hook. It means that we let go of the emotional weight that has been holding us back and choose to move forward with an open heart. Forgiveness allows us to heal, to reclaim our peace, and to release the negativity that has been poisoning our hearts. And when we practice compassion, we create the space for true healing to take place, not just for us, but for the person who hurt us as well. This process isn't easy, and it takes time. But the more we practice compassion, the more we begin to feel the peace and freedom that comes with it. And as we let go of the anger and hurt, we find ourselves moving toward a place of deeper understanding, love, and inner peace. So the next time you feel hurt by someone, take a moment to pause. Before reacting in anger or frustration, take a deep breath and consider the possibility that this person, too, is struggling with their own pain. Send them compassion, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve the peace that comes with it. When we choose to show compassion, we not only free ourselves from the grip of anger, but we also take a step toward healing the world around us. Compassion is a gift that we can give to others, but it is also a gift we give to ourselves. And in the end, it is the most powerful tool we have for creating a life of peace, love, and understanding. Breaking free from emotional chains. When someone hurts you, the natural response is to feel trapped. It's as if an invisible chain wraps around your heart, binding you in anger, sadness, and resentment. The pain lingers, and you can't seem to shake it off. Every time you think about the person or the situation, those old emotions resurface, and the chain pulls tighter. Have you ever felt this way? The weight of unresolved hurt seems unbearable, and no matter how much time passes, it feels like that chain is still there. But, my friend, the truth is, this chain isn't something that was placed on you by others. It is something you created yourself. When we hold on to negative emotions, we attach ourselves to the pain, believing that it is our only reality. But in reality, these chains are only as strong as we allow them to be. Let me tell you something very important. You have the power to break free from this emotional prison. Buddhism teaches us that we are not defined by our suffering. We are not our pain, nor are we our anger. These emotions, while real and valid, are temporary states that can change. Just as the weather changes from storm to calm, so too can your emotions transform if you allow them to. Imagine that your heart is like a garden. When someone hurts you, it's like they throw a stone into that garden, creating a hole. That hole is the pain, and the longer you focus on it, the more it grows. But what happens if you stop giving it your attention? What happens if you plant new seeds of peace, compassion, and understanding instead? With time, those seeds will grow, and the hole will be filled with new life. The garden will flourish again, and the pain will no longer have a hold on you. It's important to understand that breaking free from emotional chains isn't about ignoring the hurt or pretending it never happened. It's not about suppressing your feelings or bottling them up inside. No, that would only make the chain stronger. Breaking free is about acknowledging the pain, feeling it fully, and then choosing not to let it control your life anymore. It's about recognizing that you have the ability to release yourself from the grip of resentment. You see, when we hold on to anger or grudges, we often believe that we are punishing the person who hurt us. We think that by holding on to the anger, we are somehow making them pay for what they did. But in truth, we are only hurting ourselves. The person who wronged us may have already moved on with their life, but we remain stuck in the past, carrying that weight with us wherever we go. Every moment we spend in anger or resentment is a moment we lose, a moment that could be spent in peace and joy. So how do we break free? The first step is to understand that forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. Forgiveness is not about excusing someone's behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about releasing yourself from the emotional chains that bind you. When you forgive, you are choosing to let go of the power that anger and hurt have over you. You are choosing to free your heart from the weight of negative emotions. Buddhism teaches us that holding on to negative emotions only causes suffering. The more we cling to our anger, the more we suffer. The more we hold on to our grudges, the more we are consumed by them. Letting go of that anger, on the other hand, allows us to experience freedom, peace, and inner joy. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Now, you might be thinking, but how can I forgive someone who hurt me so deeply? And that's a fair question. It's natural to feel resistant to the idea of forgiving someone who has wronged you. But remember this, forgiveness is not about letting the other person off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional weight you've been carrying. It's about taking back your power. One powerful way to start this process is through mindfulness. When you feel that emotional chain pulling you back, take a moment to pause. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and focus on the present moment. Feel the air entering your lungs, and feel the ground beneath your feet. Recognize that in this very moment, you are safe. The past is gone, and the future hasn't come yet. You are here, now. In this space, you have the power to choose how you respond to the pain. When you feel yourself getting caught up in the anger or resentment, Gently remind yourself that these feelings are temporary. They do not define you. You are not your pain, and you are not the person who hurt you. You are simply a human being experiencing a difficult moment. And just like all things, this moment will pass. It's also helpful to remember that everyone makes mistakes. We all have our flaws, and sometimes we hurt others without even realizing it. The person who hurt you might not have intended to cause you pain, or they might have been acting out of their own suffering. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you see the situation from a different perspective. Understanding that the person who hurt you is also struggling with their own challenges can make it easier to let go of the anger and resentment. Forgiveness is a journey, not a one-time decision. It takes time, and it requires patience and compassion, especially with yourself. Some days, you may feel ready to forgive, and other days, you may feel like you're not quite there yet. And that's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but with each small step, you are moving closer to breaking free from the emotional chains that have been holding you captive. In the end, forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. When you let go of the anger and resentment, you open up space in your heart for love, joy, and peace. You free yourself from the past, and you allow yourself to live in the present moment. The chains that once bound you will dissolve, and you will walk forward with a lighter heart, ready to embrace the beauty and possibilities that life has to offer. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Every one of us has been hurt in some way, but we also have the ability to heal. We have the power to break free from the chains of emotional suffering and create a life filled with peace and happiness. It all begins with a single choice, the choice to forgive, to let go, and to move forward. As you continue on your path, remember that each step you take is a step toward freedom. The chains may still be there at times, but with each mindful breath, with each act of compassion, you are becoming stronger, more resilient, and more at peace with yourself. You are not defined by the hurts of the past, but by the strength and wisdom you gain from overcoming them. So, take a deep breath. Feel the weight lifting off your shoulders, and know that with every moment, you are breaking free. The wisdom of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Imagine waking up in the morning, feeling completely at peace with yourself, and seeing the world around you in a way you never have before. You walk outside, and for the first time, you notice how the breeze feels against your skin, how the birds sing, how the sun rises, and how the world seems to be in a constant state of change. You realize that everything you see, everything you touch, everything you feel, it's all impermanent. We often cling to things in our lives, don't we? We hold on to moments, memories, possessions, relationships, and even feelings. But what happens when we get too attached to something? It could be a person we love, a job we cherish, or a time in our life that felt peaceful and comfortable. We don't want it to change, and that fear of change can create anxiety, stress, and even suffering. The truth is, everything in life is constantly shifting. Nothing stays the same. The good moments don't last forever, and neither do the bad ones. Buddhism teaches us that impermanence is one of the fundamental truths of life. It's called anicca in the Buddhist tradition. This teaching tells us that everything, our emotions, our thoughts, and the people around us, is in a state of flux. Everything changes, and nothing is permanent. When we truly understand this, we start to see the world with new eyes. We begin to realize that the pain we feel in the moment will not last forever, and neither will the happiness. Both come and go, like waves in the ocean. The key to living a peaceful life is not resisting change, but accepting it. Think about the times when you've experienced pain. Perhaps someone hurt you, or life threw something difficult your way. In those moments, it can feel like the pain will never end. It feels all-consuming, like there's no way out. But if you take a step back, you'll realize that, just like everything else, this pain is temporary. It will pass. The difficult times in life don't last forever. And when we can embrace that truth, we begin to free ourselves from the grip of suffering. Take a moment to think about a time in your life when you were going through a tough phase. Maybe it was a broken relationship, the loss of a loved one, or even a personal failure. At the time, it felt like the pain would never end. You may have thought, this is it. This is how life is now. But looking back, don't you see that the pain eventually faded? New experiences came into your life, and the sorrow you once felt was replaced with something else. Perhaps a lesson learned, a new connection, or even a sense of peace that you didn't have before. This is the beauty of impermanence. It teaches us that both our good and bad experiences are temporary. Everything is constantly changing, and that's something we should embrace, not fear. When we cling to things, we create suffering for ourselves. But when we accept the natural flow of life, we open ourselves up to growth, healing, and transformation. Have you ever noticed how you feel differently when you're aware that something is temporary? Think about a vacation. When you're on vacation, everything feels lighter and more enjoyable because you know that it's not going to last forever. You appreciate the good moments more because you understand that they are fleeting. But what if we could live every day with that same mindset? What if we could approach all of life's experiences, both the happy and the sad ones, with the awareness that they will come and go, just like the changing seasons? This awareness is powerful. It can bring a sense of calm and clarity in the most challenging of times. When we let go of the need for things to remain the same, we free ourselves from anxiety and fear. The truth is, life is meant to change. We are meant to change. And when we can accept that, we can live more fully in the present moment. When you hold on to something too tightly, it becomes a burden. Whether it's a memory from the past, an expectation for the future, or a current situation that isn't serving you, the more you hold on to it, the more it causes you pain. But when you let go, you make space for something new to enter your life. You allow yourself to experience the flow of life without resistance. This doesn't mean that you stop caring about things or that you don't try to create the life you want. It simply means that you approach everything with a sense of detachment, understanding that, just like everything else in life, the things you care about will change, and that's okay. It's like a tree shedding its leaves in the fall. The leaves don't resist the change. They fall naturally, making space for new growth in the spring. If the tree held on to its leaves, it would struggle to grow. The same is true for us. When we let go of things that no longer serve us, we make room for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities. And this is how we grow. You may be wondering, but how can I let go of something that hurts me? How can I let go of the pain someone caused me, or the loss I've experienced? It's not easy, I know, but the key is to remember that holding on to the pain only prolongs your suffering. Letting go doesn't mean you forget or that you condone what happened. It simply means that you free yourself from the grip of that hurt. You choose peace over pain, and in doing so, you embrace the flow of life. Think about the waves in the ocean. They rise, they crash, and then they retreat. The ocean is constantly changing, but it's always there, calm and steady beneath the surface. In the same way, life is full of waves. Waves of joy, waves of pain, waves of growth, and waves of loss. But no matter how high the wave rises, it always recedes. And underneath it all, there's a deep stillness waiting for you to find. When you realize that nothing lasts forever, it becomes easier to accept the ups and downs of life. You stop clinging to the good moments, and you stop resisting the bad ones. You begin to understand that everything is temporary. You allow yourself to live more fully in the present, without the burden of fear or regret. You begin to flow with life instead of fighting against it. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by a situation, or when someone hurts you, remember that nothing is permanent. This pain, this moment, it will pass. It's just like a wave, rising and falling, constantly changing. And when you allow yourself to accept that change, you free yourself from the cycle of suffering. You make space for peace, for healing, and for growth. In the end, it's not about avoiding pain or running from change. It's about embracing it, understanding that it's all part of the natural flow of life. When you accept the impermanence of everything, you can finally let go of what no longer serves you. And in that freedom, you will find peace. The power of mindfulness in healing. There is a moment in every day when you can feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, when the burdens of past hurt and the stress of the present life seem too much to bear. In those moments, we often feel like we're drowning in our emotions, anger, resentment, sadness, frustration. But what if I told you that the secret to healing, the key to finding peace, was in a simple practice? A practice that has been passed down for thousands of years. A practice that has the power to transform your life. That practice is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present. It's the ability to observe the moment without judgment, to experience life as it is, without getting lost in the stories we tell ourselves. It's the practice of being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without reacting. It sounds simple, but it can be one of the most challenging things to do, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed by emotions. Imagine this. You're sitting in your living room, and your mind is filled with thoughts of the person who hurt you. You replay their actions, their words, over and over again. It's like a movie that you can't stop watching, and each time you relive it, the pain feels fresh. Now, picture yourself taking a deep breath, slowly and deliberately. You close your eyes for a moment, grounding yourself in the present. You notice the air moving in and out of your lungs, the sensation of the ground beneath you, the sounds of the world around you. You allow yourself to simply be here, in this moment, free from the past. This is mindfulness in action. It's about taking a pause that allows you to step out of the cycle of pain and anger, a pause that gives you the space to choose how you respond. It's not about forcing yourself to forgive right away or pushing your feelings aside. It's about creating the distance you need to heal, to move beyond the pain, without letting it control you. You see, when we are not mindful, we are swept away by our emotions. Our anger, our hurt, and our frustration become the lens through which we see the world. Everything we encounter is filtered through this cloud of negativity. But mindfulness allows us to step back and observe our thoughts and emotions as if we were watching a river flow by. The emotions are still there, but we are not swept away by them. In Buddhism, mindfulness is often referred to as right mindfulness, which is one of the key elements of the Eightfold Path. It's the practice of being aware of your thoughts, words, and actions in each moment. But it's more than just an awareness of the external world. It's an awareness of the inner world, the thoughts, emotions, and mental states that arise within us. When you practice mindfulness, you become aware of how your mind works, how it can easily slip into negative patterns, and how you can bring it back to a place of peace. It's important to remember that mindfulness is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's not about ignoring the pain or pretending that nothing hurt you. It's about acknowledging the pain without being consumed by it. It's about seeing your emotions for what they are, temporary, fleeting, and not the essence of who you are. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to understand that your thoughts and emotions are just passing clouds in the sky of your mind. They come, they go, but they do not define you. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is its ability to break the cycle of rumination, the endless replaying of past hurts and injustices. When we are not mindful, we often get caught in a loop of negative thinking, where the past continues to haunt us, and the pain seems never-ending. Mindfulness interrupts this cycle by bringing us back to the present moment. When we focus on our breath, our body, or our surroundings, we are no longer lost in the past. We are free. The next time you feel anger rising within you, take a moment to breathe and become aware of what's happening inside. Don't try to push the anger away, but observe it. Notice where you feel it in your body. Is your chest tight? Are your hands clenched? Are your thoughts racing? Simply observe, without judgment. This is the first step in releasing the hold that anger has over you. You don't need to react to the anger, you just need to notice it. And here's where mindfulness really works its magic. When you are mindful, you are no longer controlled by your emotions. You don't react impulsively. You don't lash out in anger. Instead, you create the space to choose how you want to respond. You might choose to let go of the anger, to forgive, or to express your feelings in a calm and constructive way. You might choose to set boundaries or to walk away. Whatever you choose, you are doing so from a place of awareness, not from a place of reaction. Mindfulness also helps you to become more compassionate, not just towards others, but towards yourself. When we are caught up in our emotions, we often judge ourselves harshly. We criticize ourselves for feeling hurt or for holding on to anger. But mindfulness allows us to be kinder to ourselves. It helps us to recognize that it's okay to feel what we feel, and that healing is a process. By being kind to ourselves in this way, we are more able to extend that same kindness to others. As you practice mindfulness, you may begin to notice a shift. The things that once triggered you, those old hurts, those past wounds, no longer have the same power over you. You become more resilient, more peaceful, and more capable of handling the ups and downs of life without being thrown off balance. Mindfulness doesn't change the fact that life can be difficult or that people can hurt us, but it changes the way we respond to those difficulties. It gives us the tools to heal, to move forward, and to live more fully. So, how can you begin to bring mindfulness into your life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by taking small moments throughout the day to check in with yourself. When you're washing dishes, notice the sensation of the water on your hands. When you're walking, notice the feeling of your feet on the ground. When you're sitting, pay attention to the air moving in and out of your lungs. These small moments of awareness will begin to build a foundation for deeper mindfulness. Over time, as you practice, you will find that you are more present, more peaceful, and more able to let go of the things that once held you back. You will find that the pain of the past has less of a grip on you, and that you are free to move forward in life with a sense of calm and clarity. Mindfulness is not a quick fix or a magic solution, but it is a powerful tool for healing. It helps us to face our pain, to understand it, and to release it. And in doing so, it allows us to live a life that is not ruled by our emotions, but guided by wisdom, compassion, and peace. So, take a deep breath, be present in this moment, and know that healing is possible. The Path to Inner Peace, a step-by-step guide. Imagine a world where, despite the chaos around you, you remain calm, composed, and unshaken. Picture yourself in the middle of a storm, winds howling, rain pouring down, but inside, you are still, like the eye of the storm. Can you imagine how freeing that would feel? To not be disturbed by the world, to be anchored in your own peace, no matter what happens. This is what true inner peace looks like, and it is something each of us can achieve. The path to inner peace doesn't require grand gestures or instant results. It's about taking small, mindful steps every single day, and gradually, over time, you will find yourself living more peacefully. But where do you begin? First, understand that peace is not something you can force. It's not about pretending the difficulties of life aren't there or sweeping your emotions under the rug. It's about accepting the reality of life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and still choosing to find peace within. Life will always throw challenges your way. There will always be difficult people, frustrating moments, and unexpected setbacks. But the key to inner peace is how you respond to these challenges. You don't have to react with anger or frustration. Instead, you can choose to respond with understanding, patience, and compassion. One of the first steps toward inner peace is learning to let go of the need to control everything. It's natural for us to want things to go a certain way, to control the outcomes of our lives. But this constant need to control creates anxiety and stress. The truth is, life is unpredictable. You can't control everything, and that's okay. In fact, it's liberating to accept that you don't have to control every little thing. Once you let go of this need for control, you open up space for peace to enter your life. You stop fighting against the natural flow of life and start working with it, instead of against it. This brings us to another important step, the power of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean giving up or settling for less. Acceptance is about understanding that things are as they are in the present moment. It's about saying, this is my reality right now, and I can choose how to respond to it. When you accept the present moment, as it is, without judgment or resistance, you create a sense of peace within yourself. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. This acceptance opens the door to peace, because peace only exists when you stop resisting what is happening. Another crucial part of the journey to inner peace is cultivating gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is wrong in your life to what is right. It's so easy to get caught up in complaints and dissatisfaction. We focus on the things we don't have, the people who hurt us, the things that went wrong. But when you take a moment to reflect on what you do have, on the good things in your life, you realize just how blessed you truly are. Gratitude has a magical way of changing your perspective and filling your heart with peace. When you are grateful, you create space for more peace, more joy, and more love to enter your life. Mindfulness is another key practice on the path to inner peace. Being mindful means being fully present in the moment, without distraction, without judgment. In today's fast-paced world, we are often consumed by our thoughts, anxieties, and worries. We spend so much time thinking about the past or worrying about the future that we forget to live in the present. But when you practice mindfulness, you train yourself to focus on what's happening right now. This doesn't mean you ignore your problems or pretend everything is perfect, but it allows you to handle them in a calm, centered way. Mindfulness helps you detach from your emotions and thoughts, creating a sense of stillness within. As you practice mindfulness, it's important to observe your thoughts without getting attached to them. Your thoughts are just that, thoughts. They are not facts, and they don't define who you are. When you can detach from your thoughts, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster they often bring. You start to see things more clearly, without the distortion of emotions or judgments. This clarity brings peace, because you are no longer overwhelmed by your mind. In addition to mindfulness, meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace. Meditation helps you quiet your mind, bringing you back to a state of stillness and calm. When you meditate, you create a space for yourself to simply be, without the distractions of the world. You can begin with just a few minutes each day and gradually increase the time. With regular practice, meditation becomes a powerful way to reconnect with your inner peace. It's like pressing a reset button for your mind, helping you find balance amidst the noise and chaos of life. Another important practice is kindness. When you are kind to others, you also bring kindness to yourself. Acts of kindness create positive energy, which not only benefits others, but also fills your own heart with peace. It's easy to hold on to grudges or to become bitter when others hurt you. But kindness is the antidote to bitterness. When you choose to respond with kindness, you let go of resentment, and in doing so, you invite peace into your life. Remember, peace isn't just about how you feel, it's also about how you make others feel. When you spread kindness, you create ripples of peace in the world around you. Throughout this journey, it's essential to remember that peace is a practice, not a destination. There will be times when you feel peaceful, and there will be times when you feel unsettled. The key is to stay committed to your practice, even in the face of challenges. The more you practice these principles, the easier it becomes to find peace in every moment. It's like building a muscle. The more you work at it, the stronger it gets. It's also important to recognize that your inner peace doesn't depend on the external world. External circumstances can influence how you feel, but true peace comes from within. No matter what's happening outside of you, you have the power to choose peace. You have the ability to create a calm, centered space within yourself, no matter how chaotic the world around you may be. At the heart of all these practices is self-awareness. The more you become aware of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, the more control you have over them. Self-awareness allows you to choose your responses instead of reacting impulsively. It helps you recognize when you are slipping into negative thought patterns and gives you the opportunity to redirect your focus toward peace. Lastly, remember that the path to inner peace is not linear. There will be ups and downs. Some days you will feel more peaceful than others. But don't get discouraged. Every step you take on this path, no matter how small, is a step toward greater peace. Celebrate your progress, and be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Inner peace isn't something that can be achieved overnight, but with consistent practice, you will start to notice a shift. The more you commit to these practices, the more peace you will find in your daily life. And as you cultivate peace within yourself, you will begin to see the world around you in a new light. You'll find that no matter what happens, you have the power to remain calm, centered, and at peace. And when you experience that deep sense of inner peace, you'll realize that it wasn't something you had to chase after or seek outside yourself. It was always there, waiting for you to uncover it. The path to inner peace is already within you, and all it takes is the willingness to walk it, one step at a time. Embracing freedom, moving forward without resentment. Imagine you've been carrying a heavy burden for years. Every day, the weight of it makes your steps slower. Every night, it clouds your dreams. This burden is resentment. Resentment toward the person who hurt you, resentment for what was done to you, and sometimes, even resentment toward yourself for allowing it to affect you for so long. Now, think about the moment when you decide to set that burden down. It's not an easy decision, and it might take time, but imagine the relief, the freedom that comes with no longer carrying that weight. Picture yourself walking lighter, breathing deeper, and seeing the world in a way that you haven't in years. That is the power of truly letting go. This moment, this realization, is the final step toward the freedom you've been seeking. The Buddhist teachings offer something so profound, so simple, that it has the ability to transform our entire experience of life. And it begins with one word: forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's not about excusing what they did or forgetting their actions. It's not about saying, "It's okay, you can hurt me again." No, forgiveness is about you. It's about releasing the grip that resentment has on your heart, your mind, and your life. It's about healing yourself, freeing yourself from the past, and choosing peace over pain. You see, when we hold on to resentment, we are only hurting ourselves. The person who hurt us may have moved on, but we remain trapped, chained to the past. And that chain, it gets heavier with time. The longer we hold on to it, the more it grows. What we don't realize is that it's us, not the other person, who is carrying that burden. And while we carry it, we remain stuck. But in the moment we choose to forgive, something remarkable happens. It's as if the chains fall away. The weight lifts. We are no longer prisoners of the past, but free to move forward. We regain our power, our peace, and our happiness. Forgiveness is a choice, a conscious decision to release the past, to let go of the hurt, and to move forward. It is a courageous choice. It takes strength to forgive, but it is the strongest people who forgive. The Buddha taught that in order to find peace, we must let go of attachments to people, to outcomes, and yes, even to our hurt. The pain is real, but holding on to it only keeps us suffering. Forgiveness is not about being passive. It is not about being weak. It is about reclaiming your power. It is about choosing peace over anger, calm over chaos, love over hate. It is about realizing that your life is too precious to spend another moment consumed by the actions of someone else. You may wonder, but what if they don't deserve my forgiveness? What if they never apologize or change? The truth is, forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. You don't have to wait for anyone to change in order to find peace. You don't need them to apologize, to beg for your forgiveness, or to even acknowledge their wrongs. What you need is to let go, to release that energy that is holding you in the past, and to move forward. When you forgive, you are no longer allowing that person's actions to control your emotions, your peace, or your future. You are taking back control. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. In other words, when we hold on to anger, resentment, or hatred, we are only harming ourselves. The person who hurt us is likely not affected by our anger, but we carry the weight of it in our hearts. And that, my friend, is what truly hurts us. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It is the gift of freedom, the gift of peace, and the gift of moving forward without carrying the past with you. It allows you to be free, not just from the person who hurt you, but from the pain itself. When you forgive, you allow your heart to heal, your mind to rest, and your soul to be at peace. But forgiveness is not always easy. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes practice. At first, you may feel resistance. You may want to hold on to that anger, to justify your pain. But as you continue to practice forgiveness, you will find that the grip it has on you begins to loosen. You will start to feel lighter, freer, and more at peace with yourself and the world around you. The Buddha also taught about the impermanence of life. Everything is temporary, even our pain. The hurt you feel today will not last forever. It will pass, just like the clouds in the sky. Nothing in this life is permanent, and neither is the pain you are carrying. By forgiving, you are embracing this truth of impermanence. You are letting go of something that no longer serves you and making space for something better. You may think that by forgiving, you are letting the other person off the hook, that they will get away with their actions. But in truth, the only person you are setting free is yourself. When you forgive, you are no longer giving the other person the power to control your emotions or your happiness. You are no longer letting their actions define your peace. So, how do you begin this process of forgiveness? It starts with acknowledging the hurt. You must recognize the pain you feel, accept that it is real, and honor it. You cannot heal what you do not acknowledge. Once you have acknowledged the pain, you can then begin to release it. You don't have to do it all at once. Take small steps. Let go little by little. Each time you forgive, you take a step closer to freedom. In the end, the act of forgiveness is an act of love, not for the person who hurt you, but for yourself. It is a way of loving yourself enough to let go of the hurt that has been holding you back. It is about choosing to heal, to grow, and to move forward with peace in your heart. So, as you move forward, remember this. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It is a process. It is something you may need to practice every day, every moment. But with each step, you will find more peace, more joy, and more freedom. Now, as we come to the end of this video, ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is weighing me down? Is it time to let go? Is it time to forgive? You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. And it all starts with the simple, powerful act of forgiveness. Thank you for being with us on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. Let it go and move forward with a heart full of peace. You are free.